So, to start off with, I want to give everyone kind of an idea of what shadow work is. Now, there's a book called Shadow Healing and Shadow Work. Chakra Healing and Shadow Work. And it's a great book. It's awesome. It's very easy to understand. Don't mind the filter. It's kind of fun for me. Okay, so I want to give everyone kind of and honestly get the book. It's really awesome. I got it off of I read all my books almost off of Kindle, and I got it off of Amazon. But it's a great book. And so the first chapter is about the shadow. And basically it just says that, let's face it, we all have aspects of ourselves that we don't particularly like. For example, perhaps as a child, you were teased for being a chatterbox. So as an adult, you restrain yourself from taking part in conversations. Or maybe you feel uncomfortable with your anger, so you repress your emotions. And though we may want to hide our shortcomings and flaws, they are a part of who we are, and hiding them does not make them go away. Many people also experience negative beliefs about themselves that limit their potential in lives. Much like in the chatterbox example, someone in this situation is limiting themselves from having a full social life because they are hiding their true self from the world. The traits that people are blind to or don't wish to see in themselves are what make up the shadow self. Most people repress or reject their shadow, as confronting their shortcomings or limiting beliefs is often uncomfortable. Unfortunately, no matter how much one rejects their shadow, it never goes away. Many find that no matter what they do, their shadow shows up in other areas of their life, or their denial leads to adverse consequences like mental illness or physical disease. The truth is, it's absolutely essential that your shadow is healed and integrated in order to feel whole, healthy, and complete. In this chapter, I'll explore the concept of the shadow, where it comes from, and how it affects our lives, and how you can balance, heal, and integrate it into the experience, complete, and self-acceptance. So, you can do your research. This all comes from Carl Jung, who is like the mastermind of shadow work. And shadow work has been helping people. It's really, do your research on Carl Jung. Okay? But one important thing I want to point out is the collective unconsciousness. So one of his revolutionary ideas is that the belief in a collective unconsciousness. He believed that all humans share a collection of knowledge and imaginary that arises from ancient ancestral experiences. Though humans are unaware of these experiences, this knowledge and imaginary are tapped into during times of survival and moments of creativity. So, literally, the collective unconsciousness is why many cultures have similar ideas, beliefs, and symbols, despite being vastly different in every other way. In one of my last videos, I talked about how I'm connected to you and you're connected to me. We're interconnected. There's no separatism. We're one. All right. Now, the shadow is the blind spot of your psyche. It comprises of undesirable traits that we wish to remain hidden from ourselves and other people. Unfortunately, most people are either unaware of or do not wish to confront the darker and unpleasant aspects of themselves. So they don't. This results in the strengthening and disassociation of the shadow, which causes inner conflict and a feeling of being incomplete. The shadow forms when we suppress beliefs, ideas, actions, or anything else that conflicts with those of society or our own values and morals. For most people, this begins in childhood when we are told how to behave in order to function well in society. And though this is important to learn as a child, sometimes we're led to believe that any unfavorable emotions or actions should be repressed or hidden. As a result, instead of integrating beliefs and emotions in a healthy way into our personality, we suppress them, which creates our shadow. When the shadow forms, so does other archetypes like the persona. Now, your persona is the mask that we show the world, and but it's just a bunch of favorable qualities, beliefs, and emotions we are not afraid of or embarrassed about. But it can also comprise fake qualities that we take on to present a particular image to others. Because the persona is usually perceived as favorably by others, this encourages people to either unconsciously or consciously continue rejecting their shadow and to accept only their persona. This is a painful process because it means they are rejecting a part of who they are. Many people reject their shadow because they fear seeing their flaws or what others may perceive as their flaws. And for many, the pain of confronting their shortcomings is far worse than rejection. So they continue to ignore their shadow. However, this can have some severe consequences that affect every aspect of one's life. So when you choose to reject your shadow, okay, many people believe that by rejecting their shadow selves, they are making their lives better. They think they are successfully hiding their flaws and showing their true, complete selves. They also think they are successfully hiding negative thoughts and limiting beliefs that could cause distress in their lives and negatively affect their well-being. But no one can completely hide their shadow. It always finds a way to make itself known as it is eager to be healed and integrated into our life. Okay? Now, that's a lot to take in. But you can really look at your shadow as it's you. Your shadow is you. But it's the part of you that you hide away. You're embarrassed of that person. You're embarrassed of your shadow. And instead of healing it, you lock it away. But your shadow is always going to find a way to make itself known because it wants to be healed. It wants to be a part of your life. So we really have to look at that. You wouldn't want someone to lock you away or be embarrassed of you. Anyone who's been in an abusive relationship knows what it feels like to be in pain and suffer and feel unworthy and unloved. Imagine a whole bunch of people just walking around with pieces of them missing, like a puzzle that hasn't been finished. When your shadow isn't healed, that's because there are pieces of you that you removed because you're embarrassed, or it's uncomfortable, or it's painful. You're not whole until you fix and heal your shadow. And it starts with self-love. You have to love your shadow. Love those parts of you. All of that makes you beautiful. All of that makes you who you are. You wouldn't be who you are today without it. So that's just a small introductory of what your shadow is. My next video, I will be going further into the common ways people reject their shadow and how it manifests. So I hope you find this video helpful, at least for a start. Peace, love, and light.